And we're live! We've been live for a little bit. Because dog show. Dog show's the best show on the internet. Steve's still working, so I don't know if he'll come play or not. He's gonna play the next one, he said. Which is fine. So yeah. Thank you, Madbona, for linking the player sheet everywhere. If you're watching in the present, you can get a copy or a picture of the player sheet. I tweeted it earlier. Madbona has posted it in both threads. Hey, Roll! Yeah, Madbona has posted it into both chats, so you can get a picture. But it's interesting. So let me change cameras, and then I'll just show you all it on camera as well. So, it looks like that, and the doors are important. They need to be marked somehow that they're doors. There's the spots that have stuff in them. But the shape of it is that's the important part, and then the doors and where the doors are. So that's the temple. But you can find a picture on Twitter of that. Also, if you are interested in this game, the sheets are all double-sided, so there's two different temples, but we're going to play with this one, which is the face-up one. I'm going to put it right there. Maybe? Maybe not. Steve's going to take a nap. So, really all you need is the dice. If I can get the camera to focus. There we go. And then each player needs a player sheet. And if you're playing with more players than just yourself, you need to write your name in the corner of the sheet up here. And I'll explain why in a minute. But we're all going to be playing together, but we're going to be playing the solo game. We're just going to be playing the solo game together and comparing scores. So, yeah, because in the multiplayer game, you can play with as many people as you want, and there's this, part where everybody puts their sheet in, and then you just randomly grab a sheet, not yours, and then you put a mummy on it. So, yeah. But if you want to play along, you just need a sheet. There's a better picture on YouTube, or on Twitter, of a close-up, and Madbona has linked that in the chat. You can just scribble, you don't need to print it down, just get the number of columns correct, and then make a little mark where the doors are in the stuff, because the doors are important. Everything else at the bottom is scoring, so you don't super need that. You just need the grid with the doors. So yeah, so I'm just gonna give people some time to copy and scribble that down. But this is penny papers. The Temple of Apikhabou. Took me a long time to figure out that that's what it was. It's the Temple of Apikhabou. And the penny paper series, there's 3 of them, and there's 3 more coming out, and they're all different roll-in rates that feature Penny and her companion Dakota Smith, who we decided was a dog, because there's no pictures of Dakota Smith in this version. Then we played one that has Dakota Smith. He's an old man. It's less exciting.
He's a dog.
We've decided he's a dog. We've house ruled he's a dog. So, in the game, there's 3 dice. There's a penny die, which represents Penny. And then there's a Dakota Smith die, which is a green thingy. And then there's a red die, which represents the bad thing, whatever adventure you're doing. So we've played the Valley of Waka something. And we didn't like that one as much as the Temple of Apikhabou, so that's why we're playing this one. But the formula for the penny papers are all the same, where you just, there's 3 dice, and then you can play with as many people that have sheets, and they all have a similar mechanic where everybody puts stuff out, but what you're doing in the games is all different. So in this game, we're exploring the temple, and we're trying to make sequences of numbers. We're trying to make the longest possible sequence of consecutive numbers we can, and at the end of the game, you'll get 1 point for every number in your longest sequential consecutive sequence. So it has to be like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can't skip anything. So there's that. In addition, in this one, we're trying to make sets of 3. So like 3 4s, 3 5s, etc. And for every set of 3 numbers, you get 3 points, but you can only score each numeral once. So I can only make one set of 4s to get points. If I had multiple sets of 4s, it doesn't matter. So, yeah. Hey, kabuki, kabuki bookie. I don't know why I said that. So that is that. The game is gonna go until one player has no more free spaces on their board, and a free space is a space that doesn't have a number written on it or a door. And yeah, so what's gonna happen, really simple, is just jump into teaching. Guess I've already started teaching. I'll roll all the dice. There you go. And every player just needs to write a single number anywhere in your temple. You can write it anywhere. But the number that you write can be the number from an individual die, or it can be the sum of 2 dice, or it can be the sum of 3 dice. So I could write a 1, a 2, or a 3, or I could write a 4, a 5, a 3, or I could write a 6. So, yeah. So you're doing the sum of 1 or 2 dice, you're doing the sum of 2 or 3 dice, or just an individual dice on its own when we roll. However, if one of the special faces is up, you ignore the numbers and you must do the face action. So the penny face action is pretty sweet. You actually just get to write whatever number you want between 1 and 15. 15 is the largest possible number that you can get on these dice because there's no 6s. So if we got 3 5s, that would be the highest. So when you have the penny face roll up, you can do a number 1 through 15 anywhere. So you just pick a number and you do that. So that's the penny face. Then we have the key face. So when you do the key face, you have to write the number that you write. You have to write it on one of the doors on the board or on your player sheet. But you use the numbers from the other dice. So I could use a 1, a 5, or I could do a 6, but I'd have to write it on a door. So that's the key die. And there's a fun combo where if you have a penny and a key, you must write it on a door, and you must use the penny, which means you get to write any number you want on a door. So that's a pretty sweet combo. Okay? So that's the penny die, and that's the key die, which is the Dakota Smith die. The last special die is the mummy, and the mummy is the bad stuff. So, when the mummy comes up, we ignore every other die. So it doesn't matter if there's a penny or a key, it doesn't matter. The mummy ignores everything and we just do the mummy. So if you're playing in a multiplayer game, if you're playing with a lot of people with you right now, this is why everybody has their name in the corner. Because everybody puts their sheet into the middle, and then you randomly grab somebody's sheet, and you draw a mummy in one of the squares, one of the empty available squares. It can't be a door. And the mummies, at the end of the game, if they haven't been vanquished, they will lose you 2 points. So not only do they, take up a square, so they could screw up one of your sequential sequences, or consecutive sequences, they also, if you don't vanquish them, will lose you 2 points. How do you vanquish mummies? Mummies are vanquished if, at the end of the game, they have a 9 adjacent to them. And by adjacent, I just mean adjacent. So it can be diagonal or orthogonally adjacent. So it can be in any of the 8 squares around the mummy, and a single 9 can vanquish multiple mummies. So that is mummies. So the solo game, which is what we're going to play if you are playing along and you don't have anybody that you're playing with, we'll do the mummies solo. So I'm going to be doing the mummies solo as well. And the way that you do the mummy is you must write the mummy. You must write the mummy in a space adjacent to the space you just put a number in. So whatever number we put in, whatever square we put something in the last turn, we're gonna get a mummy adjacent to that space. So, well, you can play later, Angela. Plus, we'll be back later tonight. Do you want to make cornbread, Mr. Hungries? There's also cashews.
How does cornbread get made?
There's a box in the thingy, or there's a bag to make cornbread. It's like a baking, it's like a thing. No. Okay. There's cashews on the counter. He's waiting for food. So that's how mummies work if you're playing solo. If you're playing multiplayer, you put them out and then somebody will draw a mummy on and then you get your sheet back. We had a lot of fun drawing mummies when we did this. So that's mummies. And that's that. At the end of the game, again, the game ends as soon as there are no more empty spaces on a player's board, not including doors. And then you'll get 1 point per square in your longest sequential chain. And then you get 3 points for every set of 3, like, that you have, every 3 of a kind. That's it. You'll get 3 points for every 3 of a kind that you have, but you can only score a 3 of a kind for each numeral once. And then you will lose 2 points for every mummy you haven't vanquished, but you will gain 2 points for every mummy you have vanquished. So that's it. That's the scoring. Any questions from the live chat? There's a delay, so I have to wait a bit. I like that the box looks like a book, but it's weird. So like the bottom is like that, but it's like one of the books that like you wrap around because there's a leather clasp. So like this is the leather clasp side, and then I like they did that. That was smart. Because you see a lot of them where there's books, but like you can't put anything on this side, but they did a leather clasp. So yeah, it's good. This is, we have the sit-down version, which is the primary publisher, and I believe Sit-Down is in Belgium. It's a Belgian company. I don't know who was going to bring them over to the US. I'm sure they're going to come over at some point. But so far there's been 3 penny papers, and there's 3 more. We enjoy them. Okay, question. Do you write a number as well on the mummy turn, or just draw the mummy? You just draw the mummy on the next to the space that we last did a number. So you will not get a number on a mummy round. You're too busy running from mummies. Oh yeah, what's the story? Let me read the story. That doesn't help. That's not an exciting story. Let's see. Our 2 adventurers finally managed to gain entrance to the legendary temple of Apikhabou, determined to explore it so they can discover the secrets and secret passages it contains. That's it. Yeah, they're pretty light on the theme. Alrighty. If you're just tuning in and you want to play along, Madbona has been posting a tweet, which I did earlier, which has a closer picture of this sheet so you can copy down, scribble down your thing. If you're watching live in the future, there will be a link to that tweet where you can see that. Also, you can go back and freeze framed when I was holding it up, and you can copy it down that way. We'll probably put the timestamp in the description. I hope I will. Alright. I think, unless there's any more questions, we're ready to explore the doom. We'll be playing again, Kabuki Kid, so we're gonna do 2 play-alongs tonight. This one is kind of early, so East Coast people can tune in, and then we'll be doing another play-along after our Passing Through Petra stream, at like 9ish. So at 9 p.m. Pacific, we will be doing another play-along of Penny Papers, the Temple of Apikhabou. I like really just want to make it into a Pikachu. It's not what that is though. But yeah, we'll be playing Passing Through Petra at 7 at our normal stream time, and then we'll probably shut down the stream, have like a break or something, and then we'll play the Temple of Apikhabou. Apikhabou! Alright, I'm ready. So they have like, if you play solo, they have like a thing in the back for like what a good score is. Where is that? So they say a good score, a Taurus is 0 to 14 points, a Pathfinder is 15 to 24. A Voyager is 25 to 29. And then an Explorer is 30 or more points. And when we've played this a couple times together, we're scoring in the 20s. So that should give you an idea. Alright. It needs to be Ichibou. Ichi's having a rough day today. Yeah. I think our arthritis is pretty flared up. Alright. Here we go. First roll. Almost got... I put a pin out for Steve. Almost got a thingy. Come on, camera. I'm gonna have to turn off autofocus because it keeps trying. Keeps trying so very hard to be helpful. And now I turned off autofocus when it wasn't focused. How helpful. Alright, there we go. Cool. So, hey, it's 1, 2, 3. So you can pick a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. You have a lot of options in this game. And remember, you can write anywhere, but the mummies are always going to come adjacent to wherever you last wrote. So, I think I'm going to take... Hey, that was me. That was me. No, it was me. I knocked. Ichi. It was me. I'm going to do the 1 right there. Ichiko. Alright. Ooh, okay. 1, 4, 5, or 6, or 9, or a 10. There's like so many options in this one. I went with 1s because it's hard to get lower numbers. No, I feel like I need to set a 9 up to catch mummies. A 9 right here. And when you count the sequential chain, because in this game adjacent is diagonal and orthogonal, you can do the chain like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like it can weave, fine. Each is a sleepy girl. Ooh, a 2. I need a 2. I'm gonna do a 2 right there. Though I've realized I've, like, killed this corner already. In the rules it says, like, no take-backsies, no scratching out, etc. But they still let you play with a pencil. It's very interesting. Ooh, a penny! Okay. So, remember, penny means that you can write any number between 1 and 15. I think I will write a 3 right there. I'm gonna be very boring. I'm just watching Ichi. She's having a rough day today. It's also a rainy day. It's like very windy and rainy today. Also, it feels like it gets dark at like 3:30, which sucks. Oh, it's a penny and a mummy. Alright, well, I had a feeling that was going to happen. So you have to write a mummy adjacent to a space you just wrote. So I'm gonna put a mummy right here. And I like to doodle my mummies a little bit. Makes them fun. We had a lot of fun when we played with Daryl, Daryl Andrews, and we played with, oh, why can't I remember his name? Pete. We played with Peter, the Bob Ross of board games, and Peter's an illustrator, and so he did amazing mummies on people's. Adjacent can be diagonal, yes. Well, I gotta get a 9 down there now. Oh, mummies. Okay. So it's a 1, 2, 3 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Convenient that. I'm gonna put a 4 down here though. If I get a mummy again, that's gonna suck. Oh, the solo on this is a lot more planning out. I guess I'll put the 4 here. Just in case, so I can put the mummy in the corner, but then the mummy would be locked, but then I don't know. I've never played the solo, I'm trying. I was looking up if the contiguous needs to be a certain shape, but it doesn't. Yeah, solo, like, you have to think about mummies a lot differently in solo. Though, in playing multiplayer, people are very mean about where they place the mummies. Like, it says be mean about placing mummies. It's pretty fun. Oh, that's cocked. That's cocked. Okay. It was cocked. Okay, so it's a key. So that means you put one of the numbers on a door. And so it could be a 2, a 5, or a 7. Well, if I put a 2 here, that works with the other 2 that I have. I'm gonna do that. This one I feel is, out of the 2 that we played, this one's like the easiest to teach penny papers. The other one had like a more convoluted scoring thing, and it just was less interesting. And it's reflected in the age. So this one, it says ages 7 and up, whereas the other one, the Valley of Waka Choka or something, is 9 and up, just because of the like scoring stuff. Alright. And again, we're using this beautiful dice tray, which was handmade and gifted to us by Jason Dinger. So thank you, Jason. Don't think you're watching, but thank you. Oh, okay. So we can do a 5, a 10, a 6, or an 11. Oh. I'm gonna do... I'll put a 5 right there. Yay, it's a penny! Okay, so a penny, remember you get to place a number anywhere you want, just not on a door. But it's a number 1 through 15. So I think I'm gonna have to place a 9. I'm gonna put it I'm gonna put it here. Doesn't help my sequence, but it cancels that zombie out. And if I need to put another zombie in these spots, it's better. Where if I put the 9 here, only a mummy on the door would have worked. Defensive 9s. I wish I had advertised or thought to do this play along sooner. It was kind of a last second thing. I just really enjoy doing play alongs. So I'll need to tweet more about the fact that we're doing the 9 o'clock one. I really like doing the play alongs. We've talked a few times about what different things we can do play alongs, but roll and writes just work so well for them. So, yeah. A key! Okay. So it's another write on the door, and you can either write a 5 or a 10. Not a lot of options on that one. Sorry. Okay, so... Oh, if I do a 5 there, that doesn't... Well, do a 5 there. Maybe I'll get a 3 of the kind. Don't forget, 3 of the kinds are worth 3 points at the end. So you're trying to make the longest consecutive sequence of numbers, and you're trying to make 3 of the kinds. Unique 3 of the kinds. Alright. So it's a 14, a 5, a 9, or a 10. So it's a 9, which is nice. Only a 6. I guess I could put another 5 here. So now I have 3 of the kind 5s. Woohoo! I wonder if I am. Yep, I am. We have, our table is pine, and so it's very soft wood. And so with this pen in particular, if I write kind of hard, I write on there's indents on the tables, so I can see my numbers that I've written. But that's fine. We don't mind. We like having a little character. Okay, it's another door, and so you can put a 4, an 8. Ooh, yes, I wanted an 8 on there. Of course, I turned myself in a hole, but 6, 7, 8, yeah. I'm gonna put an 8 right there. So a key, you have to put it on a door, and you can either do a 4 or an 8. Not a lot of options. And I mentioned it, but just to be more obvious, the dice are only 1 through 5, and then what would have been the sixth side is the special side for each die. So that's why there's 15 max. Okay. Oh, another door. Okay then. 5 or 8 or 3. I guess I could put. I guess I'll put another 3 down here. Going for another 3 of a kind. if we happen to just get all the doors, and so we keep rolling the lockpick, but we have no doors, you just ignore the lockpick result, so you can write anywhere. I think. That's what, there's an errata in the rule. Yeah, you ignore the lockpick. They added an errata. Take a picture. I finally got a new phone. My phone was very much struggling. And it's got a new camera and all new settings, and I don't like new things. I don't like change. It's like too small and too silly, and yeah. Yeah, we like have been very lucky with mummies. Okay, so there's a 5, a 1, 2, so you could do a 3, a 1, a 2, a 5, a 3, a 6, and a 7, and an 8. I like how that works. Okay. I really need a 6 right here. But if we get a mummy, my sequence is dead on this one. So, yeah. We shall see. Ah, some of the varnish came off the table. Very interesting. Woohoo! A 7! No mummies! I'm saved! Alright. Success. This is a very mummy-like game. I like this one for kids because, like, I think we could play this with my nephew and he would really like it. And we would get to trick him into doing math. I like that one a lot. Lots of tricking into doing addition. Ha ha. Alright. Wow, the luck of no mummies keeps going. Okay. So a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 8, or a 7, or a 6, or a 5. So, like, yeah, you can do a lot of numbers with this. I think I'm gonna do the 3 right here. So I have a 3 of the kind of 3s. And the nice part about that is that, if we were to roll a mummy, because I can't write adjacent to the 3 that I just wrote, I get to put the mummy wherever I want. So you always still have to put a mummy, but you get to pick where the mummy goes if you can't place it adjacent to what you just wrote. So I'm actually gonna mark my 3 of a kind now. So I have 2 3 of a kind. Oh! It's a penny! Okay, good. I need a 9. I'm gonna put it right here. Yes. There's very few places left on my board where a mummy could be put to detriment. I think we're gonna score pretty good, y'all. This is a very low mummy game. Oh, Mad Bona, how is the sweater going? Right? Yeah. I haven't been on Instagram, so. Like, is that my photo? Pretty sure. Wowzers! Okay. Well, so 1, 3, 4, or a 1, a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 7, or an 8. Really wanted a 2. I guess I'll put the 1 right there. Can you use sequence numbers with the 3 sets also? Yes, you can. Yeah, so like my set of 3 5s are also, the 5s are part of the sequence. Yes, you can double up. I made a chili. I'm making a chili. It's slow cooking. But I cut the onion. Eden is knitting the sweater. That's right. Thank you, my bone. I'm sorry. But I cut the onion like hours ago, and it still smells like onion. And it's so windy and rainy and wet outside. We can't like ventilate very well. My eyes are still going. Yay, a 10! I needed the 10. I'm gonna put the 10 right there. Yeah, so you can do a 1, a 4, a 5, a 6, a 9, or a 10. This is a very mummy-like game, and I keep saying that to like jinx us into getting mummies, because I think it's more interesting when there's more mummies. It's just not happening, apparently. I'm just gonna like doodle more on my mummy space, I guess. Oh, there we go. I finally did it. Mummy time! Great. Okay, well, I get a mummy. I wrote on that 10, and the only space I can put the mummy is right here, which is conveniently next to a 9. It's like I planned it all along. I'm sorry if you were not appreciative of the fact that I jinxed the mummies. Just needed some mummy, man. Just needed some mummy. It's not worth as many points as like getting numbers, but it's more fun if there's mummies. Okay, a lock. So we put a number on a door. And the options are 5, 3, or 8. I guess I'll put an 8. Oh no! That killed my sequence. That mummy killed my sequence. Darn it. I should have put the 10 there. That's what I get for wanting a mummy. Alright, well my sequence is dead. But I got to 10 with it, so it's not bad. I guess I'll do an 8. Right there. That was cocked, but not by a ton. Okay, 1, a 5, a 6, or a 10, or an 11. And I needed an 11 once upon a time. Ooh, I needed that 1 though. And now I've finished a set of 1s. Woohoo! Be the kind. Is it Gonchon Clever? Yeah, it's the Gonchon Clever app. The woohoo! Woohoo! From the Gonchon Clever app that I'm currently thinking of when you, like, unlock a bonus. That's what I keep hearing in my head. Alright. 1, a 4, a 5, a 9, a 6, or a 10. Another 9 in the far corner is probably a good idea. It's like the only corner where a mummy could not be vanquished. So I'll just put a 9 down there. Just in case. So now we're just playing until we fill up all the non-door spaces. Which, because the way this game works, is everybody should finish at the same time. So we have 5 more turns, at least, unless we get some more doors, and then we'll have more turns. But, yeah. This is a very mummy-like game. Yeah, the 9s are helpful for beating mummies. Mummy. Thought I was gonna lose that die. Alright. 1, 2, 4, 5, or 6. Oh, I need another 2 for my set of 2s. Do that. There we go. Pretty cool. So now I have a set of 5s, a set of 3s, a set of 2s, and a set of 1s. Nice. I was thinking, the Gonchon Clever app, like, ruined that game for me. Like, I don't want to play it in real life anymore, I just want to play it on the app. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, mummy! Okay, well, because I wrote the 2 there, the mummy can't go anywhere adjacent because he can't go on the door. So I can put him anywhere, and anywhere I have 9s adjacent. So I'm gonna put him up here so that he's kind of out of the way of the set that I'm trying to get. And do a... I messed it up! This mummy's got... some issues. Drawing some hands. It's a very special mummy. There we go. He's coming out of the frame. Ah! Caught this fire with my busted pen. Alrighty. Okay. 3, 4, 7, 8, or 11. I want an 8. Going for a set of 8. Fill in the background with money. Because now that I started doing that, you gotta keep it up. game's pretty interesting solo. I like it a lot more with more players, because when you put mummies out, it's pretty fun. And it's kind of like playing any roll and write with a lot of players, where people, like, curse themselves. I like that part. And it's, like, easier to teach than Welcome To. Ooh, a key! Alright, the game goes on. Ooh, yes, an 8 key. Alright, so the keys, again, you must write on a door, and you can write a 3, a 5, or an 8. And I wanted the 8, and now I have a set of 8. Woohoo! Alright. It's a penny! Oh, how perfect. Alright. It's a penny, so you can put anything you want. I'm gonna put a 9. So now I have a set of 9s. Very nice. Alright, and then unless we roll a door, the next roll is the last roll. So remember, penny, you can write any number you want, 1 through 15. Oh, Mad Buddha needed a penny. Perfect. Needed a penny, got a penny. Alright. Oh, the last one's a mummy! How fitting. The last die is a mummy. Ugh. Well, I hope that didn't screw anybody over. Pretty bad. I just like drawing the mummies. Normally I draw them all different when I get people's sheets. So it's like a fun thing at the end where you have these like little doodles of mummies. Like, we took so long, because when we were playing with Peter and Daryl, we took so long drawing the mummies. Just so long. Okay. So, first you score sequential. So you get 1 point per square, or per number in your longest consecutive sequence. So I actually, and you don't have to start at 1, I just did. So I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'll get 10 points for that. Then a mummy cut me off. Then for every unique 3 of a kind, you'll get 3 points. And I have, I'm going to just jot down. I have a 3, I have a 5, I have a 1, I have a 2, I have an 8, and I have a 9 3 of a kinds. So then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 3 of a kinds. 3 points each. So it's 18 points. Like 6 times 3 is 18, right? Yes? Yes? Okay. Then for every mummy you have not vanquished, so the mummy is not adjacent to a 9, you lose 2 points. But for every mummy adjacent to a number 9, you gain 2 points. So I have vanquished all my mummies, thankfully. And remember, 1 9 can vanquish multiple mummies. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8 more points from mummies. In the positive, thank goodness. And so then that brings my score to 28 plus 8 would be 36. So there you go. So my score is 36. And it looks like Crazy 30 got 28. Very good. Mad Bono got 27. Very nice. And again, according to the game, if you score a 0 to 14, you're a tourist. If you score 15 to 24, you are a pathfinder. If you score 25 to 29, you are a voyager. And if you score 30 or more, you are an explorer. So there you go. And that's Penny Papers, the Temple of Apikhabou. Which all the Penny Paper adventures play differently, which is super important to remember if you see Penny Papers. They all play differently. We've played 2 of them, and this one is the one that we prefer the most. We played the Valley of Waka Choka or whatever, and it has snakes, and it was kind of convoluted. We weren't super jazzed about it. And then we have a friend, still have the friend, who played the Skull Island one, which is the other one that's out already, and he was like, it's kind of okay. He wasn't super thrilled by it. So, that's why this is the one we're streaming as opposed to doing a play along with all of them. And I just don't even want to play the other ones, / we don't have them. But there's 3 more apparently coming. I don't know who in the US is going to be picking it up, but there you go. And, I said it at the beginning, but the back of every sheet, there's a different temple layout. So there's 2 temples. There's this one, or there's this one, which is harder, as you can probably imagine. So, yeah. Thank you for playing along with me. I hope you had fun. It's a fun one. It's pretty simple, but I like it for that. We have a number of roll and writes that are more complicated and have more, like, involved restraints in regards to, like, how to place. Like, Gonchon Clever is pretty complicated, in that regard, and, just going back looking at past ones, they're just cracks me up. Gonchon Clever can be too complicated to explain to some people. I've struggled with that in the past. Rolling America and Rolling Japan we really like, but sometimes, you know, a little complicated. Quicks is really good, but it doesn't have a theme. I like that this has a theme, and it's silly, it's very minimal, but it's still fun. It's still fun. So yeah, so that was Penny Papers Adventures, the Temple of Apikhabou, and I hope you enjoyed that play along. There you go. I like this game. It's gonna live on that shelf now that we've played it. But I think we actually might bring it down to play with our nephew. I'm not sure. He likes roll and writes. We introduced him to Railroad Ink, and he really liked it. I think he would really like this one, and we could trick him into doing math, which makes me happy. So, yeah, we might bring this one down. This one just looks a little bit more kid-friendly than some roll and writes, and I like how it tricks them into math by drawing mummies, and you get to be mean to other people with the mummies, which is a fun one. Not a lot of roll and writes that play large numbers of people have a player interaction mechanic. Like I said, we played the solo variant. In the normal one, when you're playing with a lot of people physically in the same space, you put your sheets in and other people will draw the mummies for you, so it's a lot more mean, which I think is fun, and not a lot of roll and writes have player interaction in that way, especially at large player counts. So, yeah, I think it would be really fun to play like a huge game of this with like 50 people. It would take forever to get your sheet back after mummies, but I don't care. It'd be worth it. Alright. So we are going to be doing one more play along tonight at 9 p.m. of Penny Papers, the Temple of Apikhabou. So if you want to play again, you can come back at 9, and Steve will be playing, so we'll be doing the thing where we draw mummies on each other's sheets. So it's going to get probably mean. But between now and then at 7 p.m., we're going to be playing Passing Through Petra, which is the new J. Alex Kirvan title, published by Renegade Games, where it's a tile pushing game. It's like a tile programming game that takes place in Petra. We played it last night. It plays very fast, and it's good. It's interesting. So that'll be the 7 p.m. stream. You can tune in for that here. Otherwise, if you're watching in the future, thank you so much for watching this long. If you'd like to see more, or if you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when we go live on YouTube, or follow us on Twitch to make sure you're notified when we go live on Twitch.